Well, this has been a crazy day in the sports world as far as news because of what happened yesterday.
Wait a minute, which one? Are you talking about the UFC buying, purchasing the WWE? Is that what you're talking about?
That's later. That's later. No, I'm talking about you're a facetious young man. The women's national championship, right?
Okay.
All right. Well, first of all, unfortunately, not many people, well, most people haven't been talking about the great game that was LSU v. Iowa. They weren't talking about the head-to-head matchup. Well, not really head-to-head because they played different positions. Angela Reese from LSU, who's named the most outstanding player of the NCAA tournament, by the way. And Caitlin Clark, who's the second coming of Mr. P, who's only a junior. No one's talking about the crazy, wild shots that Caitlin Clark was draining. No one's also talking about the fact that both teams shot over 50% from the field, with LSU shooting over almost 65% from three. No one's talking about the valiant effort of Jasmine Carter, who led our scores, but I think with 22 points. No one's talking about the fact that Caitlin Clark had 30 points. And no one else is talking about that loud-ass outfit that head coach Kim Mulkey was wearing for LSU. But instead, people are talking about the trash-talking gestures seen and heard around. Okay? All right, never mind the fact that the two young ladies in the center of this, Angela Reese and Caitlin Clark, like, never mind the fact that both of these young ladies have used it before. Never mind the fact that both these ladies exactly used the same gesture, obviously. Even different circumstances, doesn't matter, gesture is a suggestion. But the fact that you have grown men on Twitter calling Angela Reese a piece of shit, others calling her classless, others calling her trash, others calling her ghetto. We all know what those euphemisms are for. Okay? And never mind that some of those same dudes, again, grown dudes, 40s, 30, 40-some-year-old dudes, not minding what Caitlin Clark did. Me, I don't care about trash talk. I love trash talk. As a matter of fact, when Caitlin Clark did what she did against Louisville, when they were up by 16 points, okay, when she did it, I said, you talk your shit, girl. Talk your shit. And when Angela Reese did the same thing to Caitlin Clark, I laughed. Then I said the same thing, talk your shit, girl. I do not mind shit talk. To the point where me being a Steelers fan can appreciate the Baltimore Ravens of yesteryear who talked a whole lot of shit. And they backed it up usually. Sometimes at the expense of my Steelers. The point I'm trying to make is, why are humans so bad? why are some folks coming just why do this to college girls? What's the point of doing this? What's the point of doing this, Danny Cannell? What's the point of doing this? And there's many others out there like that, people who I respect, saying these things. So before I get myself in too much trouble cuss somebody out, what do you make of this whole thing?
Well, for once, I won't be cussing anybody out on this show, so that's a first. But I will say this: a couple of other things that you forgot in terms of things that won't be talked about that were remarkable as it pertains to not only the tournament but to the women's championship game itself. Viewership for the entire tournament has gone up.
Mm-hmm.
Viewership for the championship game almost hit 10 million, most ever for a women's championship game. Yeah. And there were remarkable matchups and big upsets leading up to the championship game. Again, all things that people won't talk about. You know, the University of South Carolina coming up short. The big upsets in the Final Four, the fact that in the Elite Eight for both the men's and women's, there were 4 teams that had representatives in both tournaments. All these things that won't be talked about, all because Angel Reese decided to mock Caitlin Clark in the blowout championship game against Iowa. Funny thing is, ESPN leading up to the game on yesterday on social media billed this game as a trash talk matchup. Oddly enough, with clips of both Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark talking trash not only during the season but during the tournament to their opponents. Go figure, right? Oddly enough, one of those clips, right?
Yeah.
Was of Caitlin Clark doing the "you can't see me" or face numbing, depending upon who you want to refer as to the originator of that move, be it John Cena or Tony Yayo of G-Unit fame.
Did that. Yeah, Tony Yayo. Yeah.
Now, Jay-Z famously said, you made it a hot line, I made it a hot song.
Right.
Let's be realistic. John Cena made it more famous. But yes,
he did.
Tony Yayo was the guy that really put it on the map. That's really realistic about that. But I digress. And I found it funny that there was an argument about that today too. Either way.
People just ignore facts, but go ahead.
Yeah, right. But either way.
Yeah.
With everything that happened in that matchup, even with the trash talking, everything. God, even Angel Reese wasn't even the highest scoring player on the team. She was the 3rd highest scoring player on the team in yesterday's win. Again, doing the finger moment, the finger motion, pointing to the ring finger, championship ring, something that pro athlete, that athletes do when they win a championship. That's nothing new.
Right.
The hand gesture, something that Caitlin Clark does. Again, nothing new.
And I have no problem with that.
Exactly, right. If you want to talk about things being unsportsmanlike, let's talk about Caitlin Clark's game as a whole. Now, as remarkable as her game is, averaging 32 points a game, scoring the most points ever within a single tournament, having 2 41-point games throughout this tournament. All remarkable things, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen highlights of Caitlin Clark and her shooting prowess, as dangerous as she is.
Right.
I'm sorry, when you start pulling 3-point shots closer and closer to the logo and to the half-court line, you're showing off now, dog.
She did that to start the game. She like near the beginning of the game, she pulled up from damn near the logo and drained it all net. And I was like, whoa, I yelled out loud.
Exactly, right?
That was awesome. Yes.
And that's a form of trash talking. So even in her game, she does it. My opinion on this whole thing is this. Matter of fact, remind me, Danny Kanell, he works for ESPN, right?
I think he did at one point, and he was at Fox Sports, but I think he may be back at ESPN. I'm not too sure, but go ahead.
Okay, all right. Because I was about to say, if he was at Fox Sports, that explains it all. My God, I never knew that even sports commentary has to be right and left wing based, and it shows a lot at Fox Sports, unfortunately. And my God, I swear. But I digress. If Kanell's even at ESPN, when his network is billing this game as a trash talk game, what are you beefing about, dog? That's how your network is marketing this game as a trash talk game. But the thing is this. Day one got beat. And you can look at it. I'm looking at this as the modern day Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird matchup.
Thank you. Yes. I was thinking about the same damn thing. I mean, it's
for those of us who are old enough to remember, or at least are willing to look back at history and remember that championship game between Michigan State and Indiana State, Magic versus Bird.
Mm-hmm.
This is, in my opinion, the current reincarnation of that game. As remarkable as of a player as Caitlin Clark was, coming from a Midwestern school, just like Larry Bird, right? Facing a white player coming from a Midwestern school like Iowa and Indiana State. Matter of fact, if my U.S. geography is correct, aren't they neighboring states?
Who is this?
Iowa and Indiana.
No.
They're not? Well,
No,
there you go.
Yeah.
DC Public Schools, hard at work. There you go. Because I'm not blaming that on A&T.
There you go.
But either way, two Midwestern schools in Iowa, Indiana, very similar. Larry Bird, known for his shooting prowess, just like Caitlin Clark. Facing a team that's billed as being led by Angel Reese. Power school coming
mostly
from a state,
black,
mostly black. Baton Rouge and Lansing aren't necessarily big cities either, but even still, you have these two institutions, these two players coming head to head, very reminiscent of Bird and Magic. And they lost in terms of Caitlin Clark. And in the process of her losing, she was being taunted as well with her very own taunt, and they did not like it. Had Caitlin done it in a blowout win against LSU,
no one would have said shit.
No one would say the word.
No one said it.
No, because the word wasn't said when Louisville lost to Iowa, and she did it then. Word wasn't said when she's taunted other teams throughout her entire career, and everyone just looked at it as great basketball. And it's odd, like you just said, that men have been coming out and attacking Miss Reese about her actions.
Yes.
When it's these same men, in the case of Danny Cadell, who probably trash talked during his collegiate career as well.
And that's what I want to say about that, brother. It's like he played at Florida State at the highest level and was a damn good quarterback in the ACC and played some in the NFL. But the point is, don't you think he and his teammates talk a little trash to Miami?
A lot of
Florida,
trash. A lot of
Clemson,
trash.
To Carolina,
a lot of trash. Yes.
To Virginia when they were good. Come on, son. Come on, son.
So yeah, like I said, it's laughable that once again, unfortunately, and I hate when things are about race, but my God, if this isn't a glaring case of exactly what that is, what else is it?
Here's the saddest part about that, man. We have, and folks who try to defend their bias, let's just call it bias for a minute. For those folks who are trying to defend their bias, they tried to, as part of the rationale, get this, give different degrees of shit talking. Now, for example, I've seen this all over Twitter. You got motherfuckers saying what Angela Reese did was that, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's a common thing. She did it after the game was decided, the championship game, act like he won it before. That's LSU's first fucking national championship. It's their first one. They in their defense, they know how that because they've never been there before. And secondly, shit talk is shit talk. Period. I don't know why people don't understand that shit. Shit talk, it doesn't matter if you're doing it towards a person, place, or thing, like a noun. It doesn't matter if you're doing it to a bitch or to the fucking floor. It's trash talk. It's trash talk. Period. End of motherfucking discussion. I don't understand why these people go to these lengths to defend their biases. I mean, do they think that we're idiots? Do they really think we're idiots? I mean, okay, let's just go back in time, shall we? Okay, let's go. Okay, first of all, Stephen Curry. He talks a lot of shit. Do
Yeah.
people complain about him?
No.
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 Okay, let's go back some more. Gary Payton. We all know how big of a trash talker he was. Did people complain and call him classless and ghetto? No, they did not.
Oh.
Okay, let's just go back a little more. Michael Jordan, most people's GOAT, not mine, but most people's GOAT. My GOAT is Magic Johnson, but that's another story for another time.
Ran his mouth. And see,
Man, his
to your point,
mouth.
right? To your
Yes.
point.
Did people say anything about him? No.
No. And I find it funny that it's excused for men, but not for women. And
Yeah.
primarily in this particular case, a black woman,
right,
that just happens to beat a white woman and trash talked her the way that she trash talks.
And I got, speaking of white, there's one more for you. For those of you who are men of a certain age, like around our age, or in their 30s. The biggest trash talker of all time in all the sports, Larry Bird.
Yes.
Who told you where he was going, what movie he's going to put on you, what shot he's going to take, and make it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
The man who yelled at Isaiah Thomas about having one of his white teammates guard him.
Yeah.
The same Larry Bird who went to his last 3-point shootout in his sweats, in his warm-ups, when he drained his last few shots to win it, pointed and walked away while the shot was in the air. No one said shit about that. That's trash talking. And before that 3-point contest, reportedly, he asked, well, actually, really asked the statement. Dale Ellis and a few others who were participating in the 3-point contest, which one you motherfuckers
y'all come in second place? Yeah. Yeah. And see, that's the thing, right? So it's it's another way to not only attempt to keep women in their place, but another attack on African American women.
Yes.
Because apparently women can't trash talk, but it's okay for Caitlyn to trash talk, but she can't be trash talk too. Right. You know, you talk about it's about blowing out teams, but we just talked about how Iowa blew out Louisville.
And you know what's funny part about that? Again, I have no problem with any trash talk. I love what Caitlyn Clark. I love her game. I love her. I don't have any problem with her game or her trash talk. None. I don't think you do too. The point is that the ironic part is she did that towards a Louisville player who's known for her trash talk. I mean, you can't make any of this shit up. So the point is people, let's get real. Stop thinking that we're idiots. And just call it for what it is. It's bias. It's straight bias. It is what it is. I mean, if you try to not legislate, but if you try to rationale have different degrees of trash talking, you're confirming your bias. You're trying to confirm your bias. Because as if there's different levels of trash talk. I mean, if my teammate gets in a fight, and if I take the guy and throw him off my teammate, that's both counts of assault. That's still assault. You put your hands on somebody. That doesn't make what I did less wrong than what he did. We're both going to get in trouble for assault.
Exactly, right?
It's and the thing is, at least trash talk is not against the law. That's the whole point.
And see, to your point about, the different degrees or the varying degrees as it pertains to different types of crime, they do it based upon the punishment. That's the only reason why it's done.
Yeah.
For the punishment that's going to be levied against the criminal.
Right.
They're not criminals. So why are you even coming out with varying degrees of trash talk? This is insane. It is insane. Oh my God, you can do this, but you can't do that. And Angel Lee stepped over the line when she did the exact same trash talk.
Yeah.
The only difference is she did it to Caitlyn Clark in the championship game.
Yeah.
So you're telling me it would have been better had she done it in the quarterfinal rounds? Is that what you're telling me? Since now, if the argument is now the degree of trash talk or when it happens or whatever, if that's what your argument is, that's what you're telling me apparently. So has she done it in the opening rounds to whomever? It's fine. I mean, something that she actually did do. Yeah, because again, this game was built by ESPN as a trash talking game by those two stars. I don't want to believe at this point because it's asinine, and it's asinine even more so because all it did was just show how men once again are looking to find ways to dictate to women how they should be who they are. That's exactly what, especially in this case, black women.
Black women, I was saying, yeah, especially black women.
That you need to, this is your place, stay in your place.
Right.